Hello, everyone. I was already introduced. My name is Paweł Stobiecki, coming to you from Kraków, from Ocado Technology, and I will talk to you about the team hackathons that we do as an ordinary Scrum team that somewhat resemble extreme programming. What do I mean by team hackathons? These are actually single days that we cut out of sprints in order to focus on very specific problems. And while we do that, we adhere to a couple of rules. Firstly, these problems are always connected with the application we are building. We only do these hackathons on office days, and we start with a planning session next to a whiteboard. Then we split into pairs and go into focus mode. We make sure nothing interrupts us, so we just cancel out all the other meetings we have on that day. Sometimes we get blocked. If we do, we raise our heads and we brainstorm. Together, we arrive at an alternative approach. And we finish the day with yet another short meeting that gives us the next steps after the hackathon. So this is the hackathon itself. And now, how do we use it? What do we use it for? There are a couple of kinds of features that lend themselves particularly well to this approach. And I will give you some examples, but first, a tiny bit of context. The app we build in Ocado is an internal data discovery app. So basically, we are building a tool for data people like decision makers or people building data-driven apps to find data in our data estate faster. And this app contains a couple of features that were built using the hackathons. For example, data lineage. So where your data comes from and where it goes to. This thing could take ages to build, or it could be very quick depending on whether our ideas were correct. So what we did, we took a day to build a POC, proof of concept, and we succeeded. Another example is an optimization of search result display. This was a surgical architectural change to our application. What we had to do to make it work is stop all other work, merge that in, and only then we could resume the other items, which was easy because everyone was building this feature during a team hackathon. Another kind of feature that we built in this way was identification of data owners. In our case, it was a really underdefined feature. So what we did with it, we invented a heuristic, then we built a prototype based on it, showed it to the decision makers, and ended up with something entirely different than we started with. But at least the existence of the prototype started the discussion. And finally, you could build a sub-product that would complement your existing product suite. In our case, it was a Slack bot that would detect where and when people mention data on Slack, and it would give them the link to that data in our application so that they can learn more about it. In the end, we didn't productionize this one, but it's still an option for the future. All of these 4 features were built in something you could call one-day sprints. Does that ring a bell to anyone? To me, it definitely does, because it's the first thing that comes across my mind when I think about extreme programming. But XP is so much more. It's a set of values, principles, and practices that build a coherent process together. Now, do we do extreme programming in the hackathons? Strictly speaking, no. Because, for example, we don't do TDD. But let's take another look at this picture. The things that I marked over here in black are the things that work particularly well when we do the hackathons. The ones marked in gray are the ones that we do every day, be it hackathon or not. So altogether, when you look at it, almost all of the cards are marked. So yes, our hackathons have a lot to do with extreme programming. But this is not the only benefit. Thanks to having them, you are literally able to hack through the difficult moments that every product is going to have on its path. Thanks to brainstorming and pair programming, we have massive knowledge sharing, and we get a fun event, a regular one, that is team bonding for everyone involved. Want to try this out? The next time you have a feature that falls into one of these 4 categories for which I gave the examples before, try out a team hackathon and see what happens. Perhaps something that works for us really well will also work for you. Thank you.